Good evening, basketball fans, and welcome to Freeman High School for Region 4B action. The Flyers tonight hosting Gayville-Volin, a familiar foe. We saw them not long ago, and one of several games we're going to keep a close eye on tonight. Other action is Viborg-Hurley is hosting Avon, the number 1 Cougars against the number 9 Pirates. Number 4 Centerville hosting Irene-Wakonda, the number 5 team in 4B, and then number 2 Parkston against number 7 Trip Delmont Armor. That's on the slate for Region 4B action tonight. Jeremy Waltner joined by Austin Unruh on the microphone, and the man behind the camera once again, Evan Waltner. Austin, how we doing?
Doing all right. Do I have audio? Can you hear me?
Not very well.
I don't know if I have audio.
Stand by for technical difficulties.
Boy, I don't know. Might just be you tonight, Jerry.
All right, while we get the second microphone sorted out here, I'll just go ahead and set the table. Once again, Gayville-Volin in town for the hello, test.
Jeremy's out now. Hello. Hear me now? Hey, we're live.
Hey, good evening, basketball fans. Welcome to Freeman High School for Region 4B action. Freeman High School hosting Gayville-Volin. Sorry about that, folks. Austin, we were saying, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
Okay, good. Yeah, Gayville-Volin coming in as the number 6 seed, Freeman Public number 3 seed. Let's just go ahead and get the elephant out of the room right away. Freeman, Parkston, Viborg-Hurley, very crowded at the top of Region 4B.
Yeah, and one of those 3 teams won't have the opportunity to play in the next round. So these are important games. Postseason basketball, it's March now, so anything can happen. So you got to take every game serious, no matter the ranking of your opponent or the record. Everyone's 0-0 at this point in the season.
Yeah, Freeman clearly cannot overlook Gayville-Volin, even though Gayville-Volin did host the Flyers in Freeman's last game of the regular season back on February 19. Freeman won that game 63-46. So, on paper, this is a game that Freeman should control, but, Gayville-Volin, they start 5 seniors, so they're going to be very hungry to come in and try to contend.
Yeah, and those 5 seniors have played together a lot. And they've got size, they've got physicality, and in the game of basketball, the ball does have to go in, and so it can be anyone's night on any given night.
Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we would ask that you would please stand as we pay honor to America. First and foremost, please remember our men and women who are in conflict today. We remind all in attendance that the proper respect is to face the flag, remove your cap or hat, stand at attention with your right hand over your heart. Veterans and active duty military not in uniform may salute the flag as the Freeman High School Pat Band, under the direction of Sheila Whitt, plays our national anthem. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Freeman Public School and the second round of the Region 4B Boys Basketball Tournament between visiting Raiders from Gayville-Volin and the Flyers from Freeman Public. Our officials for tonight's Region 4B game are Mr. Dustin Spurlick, Mr. C.J. Prickett, and Mr. Darren Vandenberg. These officials are licensed by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and hired by mutual consent of the schools participating in this event. At this time, here are the starters for the Raiders. At a forward, a 6'1" senior, number 2, Will Fairley. At a guard, a 5'9" senior, number 5, Wyatt Melhoff. At a guard, a 5'10" senior, number 10, Hunter Wolben. At a forward, a 6'3" senior, number 30, Preston Karsten. And at center, a 6'4" senior, number 32, Nate Selcher. The Raiders are coached by Justin Karsten, assisted by James Hoffman and Ronette Karstens. First, the cheerleaders for the Flyers: Samantha Belangi, Samuela Belangi, Anj Kamanda, Sarah Tekola, and Tadel Lanamba. The cheer coaches are Taylor Franson and Amy Sorensen. The starters for the Flyers at a guard, a 6-foot sophomore, number 11, Tatum Kerrigan. A guard, a 6'1" sophomore, number 20, Luke Miller. A guard, a 5'11" senior, number 22, Luke Peters. A guard, a 6'5" sophomore, number 35, David Walter. And at forward, a 6'2" senior, number 42, Tate Sorensen. Flyers are coached by Lance Friesen, assisted by Kyle Ware and Jackson Segan. Game administrators tonight are Sherry Kafka and Jake Teege. Our trainer on site tonight is Mr. Darren Nelson from the Orthopedic Institute.
All right, we are ready for tip here in Freeman. Once again, Gayville-Volin coming in with a 9-11 record. Freeman standing at 18-2, the number 3 seed. That's sophomore David Walter jumping it up for Freeman, and that's Will Fairley jumping it up for the Raiders. So here we go. Something to watch here early on, Austin. Freeman hasn't played a basketball game in 12 days. And Gayville-Volin has 2 under their belt.
And came out firing.
Yeah, they sure did.
There might be a little bit of early game nerves both directions. Obviously, Freeman has high expectations coming in 18-2. Gayville does have that 2 games from last week, and then, I mean, they're 9-11, and what do they have to lose? They might as well go out and just play basketball and enjoy the night. And so it'll be interesting to see how this game starts.
Absolutely, and I mentioned before, 5 starting seniors on the floor here for Gayville-Volin. You know, that's they're going to come in highly motivated just for that reason alone. This could be their last game playing together.
Could be.
That's Tatum Kerrigan on the steal, but he just gets a little out of position on that layup, and looks like it's going to come back the other way here.
Little token full court man press from Freeman here.
Yeah, they tend to hang their hat on their defense, as they should. We know what their offense can do, but they do like to create transition baskets when possible, and we're going to see that tonight. I think player for player, Freeman is probably a little bit more athletic, a little quicker.
And the depth for Freeman is definitely going to be important throughout the entire postseason if they continue to win.
Yeah, Coach Friesen typically brings three guys off the bench pretty consistently, uses that rotation throughout the game. That's the senior, Tate Sorensen, gets bottled up inside there, but does a nice job of just kissing it off the glass there against tough defense.
Yeah, good patience there. Didn't give up in the play. Both seniors for the Flyers have been rock solid here down the stretch. Really mature, good leadership, consistent players.
Well, they've been asked to play with this varsity team since they were freshmen.
Yeah, and you can tell that they've got that experience.
Gayville-Volin working it, just unfortunately for them, just an unlucky pass there. Nice student section for Freeman. Good crowd on hand otherwise. Not a surprise.
Little horn set here on the out-of-bounds side set. Gayville did a nice job defending that up high.
Luke Peters tried to draw the contact there. No whistle.
And there's going to be one on him.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of plays that can frustrate a head coach when you turn one mistake into two. Miss a layup, turn around, over-commit, over-hustle, trying to get it back too fast and too aggressively, and then commit a foul on top of it.
And it's easy to do. Again, these guys are motivated to come in and play basketball. It's been a while since they've actually played a game. Coach Friesen told me beforehand, he's like, they're sick of me, so let's go out and play basketball. Nice little give and go there.
Great set play on the sideline out of bounds. It's a box set. They got their inside-out game and then a great back cut after an over denial.
That was Wyatt Melhoff on the layup. 5-2 now early, Gayville-Volin. 5:44 left, first quarter.
Another missed layup. Tough place to get trapped.
There.
Third time's a charm for Garrigan on that one.
It was. 5-4 now, Raiders. When these two teams played in that last game of the regular season for Freeman, the Flyers, they let Gayville-Volin hang around a little bit. They hit some shots. They're big and physical inside, so the Raiders probably have that on their mind here as they try to keep this game, close.
And what they just did on that possession is what they want to do.
Yeah.
They want to slow it down. They want to use their size on the interior and force Freeman to play defense for 20, 25 seconds without making a mistake.
Yeah, that was big man Preston Carson's down there on the block. That's Luke Peters. He answers to tie the game at 7. He likes that corner three. Looks like Friesen's going to put his first two subs in. That's senior Taylor Goodwin and Oliver Waltner, a junior, checking in now.
Gayville-Volin working the clock again here. Being patient, not forcing the issue, taking what Freeman gives them. Always looking inside, though.
6 seconds on the shot clock now. That's Carson's, just misses off front iron. Back the other way. Taden Kerrigan running the point. He's a sophomore.
Second effort there.
Yeah, good job of staying with it. 9-7 now.
Freeman has to be happy with the looks they're getting, but so far their shooting percentage is fairly low.
Yeah, they're not executing it down low, and that's
and that's going to be a quick 2 fouls on Luke there.
Sure is. Gayville-Volin lost a tough one in their regular season finale to Beersford the other night. Went down 57-56. They had the game in the bag and then committed a silly foul at the end and gave Beersford 2 shots with no time on the clock, and that was game. Interesting side note on that. Gayville-Volin wins that game. They even up their record at 500. Freeman gets additional seed points. Likely jumps Viber Parkson for the second seed.
Yeah. Interesting how that math works. Towards the last game of the year, you kind of look at those target 5, 10, 15 win categories because that's where your seed points shift based on your final record.
Yep.
And that was one that went Parkston's favor to be able to draw that potential home court advantage in the finals.
Yeah, absolutely. 3 subs in now for Freeman in addition to Waltner and Goodwin. Tannen Auk is also in.
Another second chance bucket here, and I'm guessing that they're going to discuss, Gayville-Volin's going to discuss boxing out and rebounding.
That's at least 3 that we've capitalized on. So 6 of our 11 points unofficially have come off second chance opportunities. 11-8 now, 3:22 to play first quarter.
If you're Gayville-Volin, you don't want to let this lead balloon here at the end of this first quarter. I think it's an important timeout here for them to, for Coach Carstens to get them organized and try and get a bucket of some sort of set play here that they're comfortable with, and try and get a bucket here to not let this lead balloon out here in this final stretch of this first quarter.
They've got the bodies to really use that block down low, and you know, to your point earlier, that's what they want to do, and I think we're going to try to see that here. We'll see if they can get through Freeman's defense.
And they did not. Great finish here. David Walter picked the pocket on the double team at the midline, and then went up strong and got the bucket to fall along with the contact. The long arms there. Long arms of David Walter really sniped that ball away there at the midcourt line. And another second chance opportunity here for the Flyers. Offensive rebound there by Taden Kerrigan. Bonus possession here. Running floater by Kerrigan. Rebound by Gayville-Volin coming away with the basketball.
Well, if they needed, that was the bucket they needed.
They got the bucket they needed.
Yeah.
Defense was a little bit lazy, a little bit slow to react there, and they got a good face cut to the basket for an easy layup.
13-10, 2.5 minutes to play. Freeman.
You're seeing some face guarding here on David Walter, just kind of sticking to him like glue, forcing everyone else to play, and so far they're playing.
That's why this team is so dangerous. When you key on one player, you've got multiple guys who can step in and fill that role. We saw that from Taden Kerrigan right there.
Quick 30-second timeout here for Coach Friesen and the Flyers. Set the defense, get some subs in, talk about here the final 2 minutes here of the quarter.
Looks like action is underway elsewhere in Region 4. It's early, but Viborg Hurley does have an 11-3 lead over number 9 Avon. It's very early. Parsons tripped Elmont Armor. Looks like TDA has a 5-1 advantage according to SD score feed. Still in the first quarter, but again, can't read anything into that because it's so early. Parkston, Viborg Hurley both with 3 losses. They've proven that they can be vulnerable. They've also shown that they can compete with the best of them. The Flyers, incidentally enough, the only team in Class B boys basketball with just 2 losses. Right idea there by Wyatt Melhoff, just misses on the pass. Maybe a little miscommunication with the cutter.
Yeah, and sometimes that's the outcome of and the goal of the press defense is not necessarily to get a steal in the backcourt, but to force the offense to play at a different pace and a different spacing than what they're used to. And that time that kind of went that way and forced that turnover.
Freeman now doing a good job around their half court.
Little flex action here. Another offensive rebound for the Flyers. Second chance bucket opportunity here.
Yeah, that's Luke Miller. He did a nice job out careening that and going up for 2 and drawing the contact. Freeman, of course, assuming that Parkston comes away in a game that they probably should win. We'd go there Friday night, play in a tough environment. You know something about playing in a tough Parkston environment?
It was quite the environment the other night. It felt like a state tournament quality basketball game. If anything, a sub-state Sodak 16 game. It was electric atmosphere. It was unfortunate that one team had to lose that game, and unfortunately it was us. But it was everything that postseason basketball should be. It's just unfortunate that it had to happen in the region final as opposed to at a higher level.
Couldn't agree more. Parkston trailing 16-10 now.
More deliberate offense here. 5-out spacing. No paint touches. In fact, the ball barely crossed the three-point line to the inside of the arc. Great defense.
Yeah,
there.
Carson's had to take that shot. It wasn't what they wanted, but he had no choice but to wing and a prayer, as they say. That's Tannen out for three, the junior.
Another offensive rebound.
Yeah,
here.
Oliver Waltner hustles that ball down. 40 seconds to play now, first quarter, 16-10 Freeman.
What you're seeing defensively here from Gayville is they're really packing it in, especially on the backside, and they're choosing certain players to force to score or force to shoot the ball, and they're trying to take away the inside, and that's kind of slowing it down. And you see some missed shots from the outside. The problem with that is always giving up offensive rebounds. Anytime you play some sort of zone or sagging defense, you're not necessarily right next to somebody, so it takes extra attention to detail to get that defensive rebound.
Luke Miller misses on the three. Gayville-Volin's going to have the ball now without a shot clock. They'd love nothing more than to get a basket here late and, try to get a little momentum back here. It feels like it's been all Flyers this first quarter. Now let's see what Freeman does. Waltner mishandles the ball. It's going to stay with Freeman. Got lucky there.
Chance to execute a baseline out of bounds. 5.5 seconds left here in the quarter.
That's Kerrigan. Gets a look.
And a second look. That it's closer than it maybe should have been.
Yeah. At any rate, 16-10 after one quarter of play.
Get some score updates here from around the region.
Yeah.
End of the first quarter here in Parkston. Parkston was down actually for quite a bit of that first quarter by a bucket or so. And it looks like they're going to come out of the first quarter with a 2-point lead.
Viborg Hurley keeping that extended lead over Avon. They lead 17-8 now, started the second quarter. Centerville and Irene Wakanda in a little bit of a tighter game. Irene Wakanda, the 5th seed, actually up 17-13 over number 4 Centerville. So we'll have to keep an eye on that one. That's probably going to be your closest game of this round.
It very well could be. And I think there's a lot of people around the state that would be intrigued by a Viborg Hurley Centerville rematch after Centerville was able to pull off that upset midseason. There's some outside people that maybe would like to see that rematch and see how that shapes up round 2.
No question about it. We talk about our tough Region 4. You look at those top 5 teams all above 500. Gayville-Volin just below, and then even number 7 seed TDA is sitting at 8-12. So,
well, we're as a girls coach, we're very well familiar with the quality of Region 4. Our 5th seed, Irene Wakanda, would have been a 1 seed in another region in the state.
Yep.
And that speaks to the quality of the basketball coaches, basketball fans, basketball teachers, coaches, parents, players.
Yep.
Here in this corner of the state, we got a good thing going on here.
Absolutely. This is David Walter, the sophomore at the line. Kid who's been passionate about basketball since he could dribble. 1,000-point scorer as a sophomore, coming off injury-riddled 8th grade season. He didn't even play most of that season, and he's still sitting at more than 1,000 points with 2 seasons to go. So
definitely a story to follow, to watch as that so it'll ticks up, assuming he's going to continue to score.
Absolutely.
These next 2 seasons.
Absolutely. I'm pretty sure he will. Just a hunch.
More 5-out motion, trying to find some back cuts and some spacing away from the ball. Just not able to find that. There we do get a post touch.
17-10 Flyers advantage, 7:15 to play in the first half.
There again, you see the number of defenders going to the ball. Gayville is really focused on shutting down whoever's got the ball at the current time and collapsing the defense down. Freeman's got to be patient and recognize that early in possessions. Get that ball moving, force the defense to have to play and guard the entire floor.
It feels like Freeman's done a pretty good job of controlling the tempo of this game, wouldn't you say?
Outside of the missed layups and some of those things that have caused for some irky-jerky possessions, yes, otherwise.
Luke Peters, one of 2 starting seniors, back in the game now. Walter Long on the 3. That's fairly controlling the point. Again, Gayville-Volin knows that they just have to be patient and try to find a shot.
Here comes the ball inside. Great footwork from the big
was.
man. He knew which shoulder he wanted to get to there and set up his defender very well. The dig from the baseline side was late.
Yeah, that was Nate Seltzer on the other end here to get a bucket for the Raiders, but Walter and the Flyers turn around and answer. It's now 19-12, 6:29 to play, first half.
I think Coach Carstens is a little disappointed in the transition defense there with that quick timeout following a made bucket. You can't give up a layup that fast in defensive transition and then expect to be able to beat a team with the quality of Freeman. So there's definitely something to talk there of not being complacent after that ball goes in.
And put your coach's hat on. What's Coach Friesen telling his boys at this point?
Well, I think they have to make sure they're understanding when the ball gets inside, they want to force that ball back out, and that double or the dig down in the post has got to come sooner. And then just keep executing on offense, space the floor, and finish the first shot, especially on those interior buckets. There's late rotation again, and that's going to be goaltending.
Yep.
Yep. He got his hand. I think it was inadvertent, but he got his hand stuck in the net, and,
yeah,
and that's an automatic call.
Walter doesn't like it, but it's the right call.
And they really they clarified that rule coming into this season on the national level with any contact with the goal at the stanchion while the ball's in the cylinder, they're going to call that goaltending.
Oh, by the way, it's a 19-14 game.
Yeah, Gayville's doing what we thought that they were going to try and do and slow the game down, hang around a little bit. See this? They're not. Their defense is trying to take away a couple people and forcing somebody else to play. Yeah, and that is the correct call.
Felt like it maybe came in a little late, but yeah, it looked like the defender had position.
I've always said I'd rather have it late and correct than early and wrong when it comes to officials. So he made sure he got the call that he wanted, and you don't hear a lot of arguing on either fan base here. So I think good call there.
Good hands there by Walter. Freeman's coming back the other way. Feels like they want a bucket. Again, just that 5-point lead, 5:50 to play in the first half.
More flex action here. Gayville's packing it in. Good execution there. First attempt make for the Flyers.
First attempt make for the Flyers. Kerrigan, when he gets hot, he can score points in a hurry.
You see if they can get this. There it is. He walked him down. Great spin seal. Here's the double team from the corner and from the backside.
Yeah, just
patient and deliberate.
Really nothing Sorensen can do there, man to man.
Just got work has to be done early. You got to position yourself before the spin seal and then ball pressure to prevent that easy pass into the interior.
21-16, and Gayville-Volin forces a turnover.
Just a little out of characteristic here from Freeman. Poor spacing offensively. I think players maybe just not quite in rhythm. And again, maybe goes back to our 12-day layoff that we mentioned. Just a little bit out of sync here.
Raiders have a chance now to come down and make this a one-possession game. Oliver Waltner checks back in for the Flyers. Tate Sorensen comes and sits. Freeman now playing with one senior, one junior, and three sophomores out there.
Gayville's also gone smaller here with their two big post players getting a breather as well. And that's a missed opportunity on the interior there.
Sure was. 4:55 to play, 21-16 Flyers.
Again,
Flyers,
they
looked for that give and go, just didn't see it.
Yep. And Gayville's just packing it in from the backside and forcing the ball to stay on one side of the floor.
And there's that one possession game, 21-18 now, 4.5 to play. How will Freeman answer?
Maybe a little contact up high there on that layup, but refs are letting him play. It is postseason basketball, and the call there was Walter had stepped on the baseline and then was the first player to come back in and touch the ball in the air. So by rule, that's out of bounds, and so Gayville basketball.
Coach Friesen gets a full. They'll talk things over, try to settle his team down. Now it's a 30.
Similar score over in Parkston currently. Parkston's ahead 21-16.
Okay.
So very similar score there, and I don't have the scores up for the other games right now in our region, but that one's hanging around close.
Freeman has not lost since January 3rd. That's a pretty impressive stretch of games.
And that
Gayville-Volin finds a wide open man down low. That was Will Fairley going for two. Makes it a 21-20 game. Freeman leads. Kerrigan with a little spin move, doesn't fall. Carter Barron, he's in off the bench. He's controlling point right now.
Freeman switched here to a 2-3 zone to try and break the rhythm of Gayville a little bit, change the pace here.
Kind of a quiet turn in momentum here. It's not like it was a bunch of fast breaks that they just stole the momentum. It was just kind of a deliberate switch over.
And to Gayville's credit, in big man rotation of rest there, they closed the gap. And so now their two senior posts are able to come back in the game here and help control against this 2-3 zone.
Yeah, with some fresh legs. Good ball movement there.
More great spacing and great awareness on that to find that cutter.
That's a 22-20
Selcher there.
Yeah, first lead of the game for the Raiders now. No, they led early, excuse me. Freeman needs an answer.
And that's the guy that they're going to want to have that answer. If he can get going here, he can shoot them back into it most games.
24-22 now, 3 minutes.
Back to man here from Freeman. Gayville immediately back into their 5-out motion offense.
That was Webben from 3 from the perimeter. Gives Gayville-Volin a 25-24 lead.
It may look undisciplined or out of control a little bit from the casual viewer, but that's his shot. He hit it a number of times the first time these teams played. So he's just fine taking that corner 3.
Good strong move by Luke Peters, the senior guard there. He's fired up. Freeman going to bring in some fresh legs of their own. Walter Miller come out. Looks like Luke Peters is going to get a sub here.
That was the second foul on Karstens, so he's going to head to the bench here for the final 2:20, I'm guessing, to keep him out of that foul trouble in the third. And if you're Gayville-Volin, you're hoping to manage these last 2 minutes, 20 seconds. Keep this game right here, or possibly close that gap. We talk a lot about as coaches finishing quarters, finishing halves. This final 2:20 can really change the tone going into halftime and into the second half.
Gayville-Volin working the half court now, down 2. Closing in on 2 minutes to play.
Got the post touch. The defense is just a little bit behind on those backside and cutters that are choosing to stop and post up. And when they're late like that, they get that early position, and then the ball can be entered easily.
Yeah, that's what we saw there from Schelzer. Draws contact from Waltner. Stays here, full shot clock now, 35 seconds. $15 seconds on the shot clock now.
Very patient again, deliberate offensively, not forcing the issue until late in the clock here. Post paint touch. Good defense.
Yeah, good physical play there by Tannenau, the junior, number 34. Freeman would sure like to go up by a couple of possessions here with under a minute to play. Ten seconds now for the Flyers to shoot. He traveled. He thought he got fouled, but he just got bottled up down there underneath the basket.
Yeah. I think the discussion more was he felt like he didn't have control of the ball. It got ripped away. And the ref said that, well, the ball was contacted with his body and therefore in his possession, causing the traveling violation.
Nice athletic play there by Kerrigan.
Oh, what a nice pass and find. That's a momentum-changing and a game-changing effort there from Kerrigan.
Yep, absolutely it is. And a great find there. Tannenau saw him down low, got the pass right in his hands. 29-25 now, 37 to play. That would have been a big answer, but instead it hits back iron, and Freeman's going to hopefully, well, you would assume, hold for the last shot here. They're not always very good about doing that.
Yeah, you want to look to it, start tacking around 10 seconds, take that shot with 4 seconds or so left in the quarter, gives you a chance for an offensive rebound, and eliminates a chance for a run-out layup on the other side. There's that shot right around 7. See, it's too soon. They're going to have a chance to hit this bucket if they get up in a hurry.
Well, that's our first half, 29-25. Freeman controlled the game early. Gayville-Volin did a good job at just chipping away at that lead in the second quarter, found some momentum of its own. Here we are, 4-point game.
I thought Gayville's approach offensively is exactly what they wanted to do. They used the clock, and they would try to get the ball inside the paint under 15 seconds and play with their size advantage. And I don't know if they were necessarily falling asleep, but Freeman seemingly had a hard time preventing that post-entry pass and was just a little bit late on the rotation, late on the double and the dig. And that kept Gayville in the game.
Yeah.
Along with missed opportunities, especially in the first quarter, with missed bunnies at the rim for Freeman. Kind of helped Gayville stay in it early when they weren't getting as good a shot selection as Freeman was.
Yeah. Yeah, Parkson holds a 26-25 lead at the half over TDA. That's an interesting score.
Centerville flipped the script here in the second quarter, is now up 9 after being down by a couple possessions in the first quarter. So they must have had a very strong second quarter. There's still 3 minutes left there, and they're up 9. And Viborg's leaving no doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt against the 9 seed. And that's the way it's supposed to be in a 1-9 matchup, 29-12 at halftime.
Viborg Hurley, a very motivated team. You know, they're well coached. They've got some upperclassmen there. You know, they wanted that state championship last year, and Castlewood just took it away from them. So, you know, they're playing with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. And but they've also proven that they're vulnerable. They've lost 3 times this year in games that they maybe shouldn't have lost.
Yeah. Well, like I said earlier, the postseason, anything can happen. And they're taking care of their business tonight. And you see the 2 and the 3 seeds letting teams hang around here a little bit. And you get in the fourth quarter, anything can happen. Especially when you're playing a team like Gayville that's got 5 seniors. That's a lot of experience. It's a lot of minutes on the floor. And, again, what do they have to lose?
Right, exactly. Yeah, Freeman anticipating, you know, a showdown with Parkston again on Friday, but they got to get through this game first. I asked Coach Friesen before the game if he felt that, you know, any fear of the Flyers overlooking this Gayville-Volin team, and he said, we'll see. You know, I don't think it's a big concern for him. I think the bigger concern is that 12-day stretch of games where they were only in the gym practicing with only each other and only the coaches. So, again, I do think that is at play here to a certain extent. But at the same time, this is their 21st game of the season. So, you know, probably should have some things figured out. And they do. Well, do you want to reflect a little bit on the girls' season, or do you want to put that to bed?
We can do that. We can have that conversation.
Austin Unruh, the first-year head coach of the Freeman High School girls basketball team, just an excellent season. Lots of good memories created. Just a tough gutting loss against Parkston at Parkston last week. Ended the season. You've had a little bit of time to maybe gain some perspective, or not.
Well, I think the emotion is still raw for everyone. And, you know, it's not always like that at the end of a season. And I think that's a testament to the cohesiveness and the team family feel that we had. And I think just a general sense that we weren't ready to stop being together and to stop practicing every day. And there's a lot of teams at the end of the year where there's a lot of players that are okay not having to go back to practice the next day. Basketball's a long season. It spans 2 holiday breaks and whatnot. But, man, we did not – that was not the case for us. The girls were just crushed.
Yeah.
They were just absolutely crushed. And I've talked to a number of them here this week already, and we're slowly recovering, all of us. But that's a sign that we did something good, and we have nothing to hang our heads about. Parkston is a fantastic basketball team. They're well coached, lots of experience. They got 5th place at state, which is 2-1. There's not many teams that come out of there 2-1, and they were one of them. And there's a reason why. They're well coached, and they got good players, and they made shots down the stretch, and we didn't. And that's when you've got 2 equal teams, that's the difference.
And I dare say Parkston could very easily contend for the B title up in Brookings.
I tell you what, Class B girls basketball is chock full of fantastic teams and players. And it's been a pleasure to get to know the world of Class B girls basketball a little better this year for me, and to learn more and see that. And, yeah, especially Regions 3 and 4. The top 4 teams in each have an argument to say that they could be in that state tournament and compete with any of the teams. And you've seen teams beat each other throughout the season. And unfortunately, only 4 of them even have the opportunity between those 8 teams, just the way the regions fall and how that's set up. But yeah, it was a great season. Learned a lot. there's going to be a lot of motivation to stay in the gym together and keep working in the off season to fill some pretty big shoes that are going to be left by our two seniors. And we talked about the fact that the other strong teams in our region, there's not graduating a lot of seniors either.
Parkston was one senior on that Trojans team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Centerville won on their roster, and Gayville-Volin won, senior that graduated from their starting 5, and then Irene Wakanda, 5th place at 15-5 in the region, was starting freshmen and 8th graders.
Yeah.
And primary minutes coming from underclassmen.
Yeah.
With the good coach there and Coach King. So don't take your eyes away from Region 4B for girls next year, because that's should be another incredibly strong region.
No question about it. And don't sell your girls short, and you're not. But you got a girl named Riley Peters who's coming back for her senior year.
Well, and a Cadence Hofer.
And a Cadence Hofer who's coming back for her senior year.
And an Aubrey Cheddar who's going to finally be a high schooler.
Yeah. And the supporting cast, it's probably going to, I'm guessing they learned a lot this year.
I stopped, I don't know, probably for the whole last month, I stopped calling it our JV game. I just called it our first game. Because if you weren't ever here, our JV first game of the night, only lost twice. Once before Christmas to a very good MCM team we were at the time playing a lot of 8th grade minutes, and they were playing a lot of juniors, and we just weren't quite ready for competing at that level yet. So we didn't play well that game. And then Centerville, who we know is a fantastically coached program and team and is deep and has all kinds of girls participating, and they just know what they're doing. Those were our only 2 losses. And a lot of our wins were not close. They were not close games, and we were playing a lot of underclassmen in those games. And so the future's bright. We had a couple players that didn't get a lot of playing time or any playing time for injury from our younger girls. And so getting them back in the mix, there's a lot of excitement. And so, yeah, it's right. We have a couple of really strong leaders at the top, but the supporting cast around them, and that's, again, testament to the upperclassmen, the 2 seniors this year, and Cadence and Riley, really taking those younger players in and making them know that they're important, they're wanted, they're needed, and just like everyone else, they're part of the group. And they did a lot of stuff off the court together and team bonding type stuff, and I was really proud of that. And thankful to Veda and Estelle's leadership and Riley and Cadence's leadership and all that.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on a really fun season, and it didn't end the way you wanted, but I think years from now you're going to remember a lot of things about what happened in these last few months more than you will what happened in Parkston.
Yeah, and I mean, ultimately there's very few teams that win their final game of the year, and so you can't define your season or your life at all on the end result. You got to define it by the journey from start to finish and what you accomplished along the way and the impact that was made in those moments. And at the end of the day, that's what the important thing is, and so that's what we have to take away.
One of these teams is going to see their season come to an end tonight.
That is postseason basketball.
Yep.
It's a 4-point game. That means it's anybody's game.
It's anybody's game. What are we going to see out of Freeman? Are they going to be okay?
Well, they're going to have to play better defense, and I guarantee you they're going to talk about that. And then if they can just stay composed on offense and play a little bit looser, as far as they need to move that ball a little bit better side to side, space the floor better, and trust their shooters to make those outside shots, because Gayville's packing it in and trying to force the ball to get to that perimeter. And until they loosen that up a little bit, there's only, 2 3-pointers there in the first half, one from Luke in the corner, from Peters in the corner, and then Walter there when they needed a bucket down the stretch. Final 2 minutes there.
And that's maybe a little unusual because we know what this team can do in terms of three-point shooting. I mean, they got 4 guys out there who can hit that shot. And so, yeah, I mean, if you're calling offensive plays, are you looking for that deliberately, intentionally, try to open up that three-point game?
Well, knowing Coach Friesen, he's going to try and get the ball inside first and foremost, and that's always a coach wants a good, solid bucket, and that typically means get the ball inside. It doesn't mean you have to shoot the ball inside, but collapse the defense down, make them sink in, and then if it's not there, get that kick out and tell your shooter to be confident and shoot that in rhythm with confidence, and you got to open up that outside game a little bit to open it up on the inside.
Feels like these first few possessions anyway, are going to be pretty big for both of these teams. We're going to learn a lot in the first 2 minutes.
Woo! A little high pick and roll action, dribble drive kick to the corner, and that was smooth stroke there, and we got a 1-point game. Here's the inside touch we just touched on, and the spacing is not there for the Flyers again.
Again, good job there on the block, preventing the Flyers from getting a shot. Walter just strong on his look, and here come the Raiders. Chance to take the lead.
Potential unforced error there, but they got lucky they were able to corral that ball. And then another forced pass inside.
Yeah, Kerrigan does just a good job of batting that away from behind. Sorensen doesn't get the roll. That's Luke Peters. He picks up the garbage. They're going to try to set this up.
This is a repeat of the early first quarter with short misses, second chance opportunity. That's what kept Freeman able to stay in front in the first quarter, and it's kind of the same thing.
I think that's Luke Peters' third foul on the block there.
And that is a bad place to pick up your third foul, 30 feet from the basket on the sideline at an unnecessary time and place on the floor.
Taylor Goodwin will come in and check in for 22. Peters, a senior. He's as frustrated as anybody, you know it. Really, really good defense there by Miller, and Kerrigan's there to clean it up. Miller just can't handle it. Gayville-Volin fans wanted to travel. The referee says no. 33-28 now, 6:23 to play. Kind of a fortunate set of circumstances there for the Flyers, but Gayville-Volin just comes right back, and that's Melhoff with a nice little move inside. Keeps it a 3-point game.
Nice touch.
Good little hesitation there by Miller, the sophomore. Gets Carson's up in the air, draws contact, finishes off the glass.
That's Carson's third foul here, similar to Peters. Quick third foul for a senior leader. Now these are tough coaching decisions.
Yeah, that's such a physical position to play. You know there's going to be contact down the stretch. Miller does a good job of converting that and one. 36-30 now with 6 minutes to play. So the Flyers have a little bit of separation on their side.
This 1-2-2 half-court trap has been devastating to opposing teams throughout the year. They just haven't figured out how to get around Freeman's athleticism, and Friesen's dropped into that here now. Try and change the momentum here a bit.
Nice body control there by Walter. Puts it in for two, makes it an 8-point lead now again. Carsons wants a timeout.
I think for Gayville-Volin, I think you're afraid of what might have felt like the eventual inevitable is starting to happen here. The athleticism and speed is kind of taking over here a little bit. And a couple turnovers, too.
And
can change the pace of the game in a hurry.
And the fact that Friesen has the luxury of running a 3-4-man rotation off the bench throughout the game.
You know, you not a lot of Class B teams have a senior that can step in off the bench in Taylor Goodwin and fill the role on a guard for another senior. That's pretty rare to see that. And there's not much of a drop-off, especially intellectually there. Taylor's such a fantastic knowledge of the game, and it's never going to be in the wrong spot. So you know what you're going to get at all times from him.
Goodwin, a first-year player for the Flyers. Transfer here from Marion this year.
Interesting decision here.
Yeah.
Peters is back in the game.
Yeah, I see that.
With 3 fouls here and an 8-point lead with 5.5 to play. They are sitting in that 1-2-2, it looks like, again. So it's possible that he's going to try and stay on the perimeter and stay out of that chance of getting up that 4th foul. But Gayville recognizes that they should be able to attack that spot on the floor, knowing that he's not going to want to foul.
Peters, a kid you want on the court. He's so athletic, such a great defender. He can score from anywhere. Gayville-Volin did a good job of finding the look. That would have been a big shot. They missed it, but they do retain possession here. Peters has to be careful there. He knows it.
And they went right at it. They attacked it.
Yeah.
Second chance opportunity there.
38-32 now. Sorensen, good job of battling it. He somehow finds Walter.
Well, that's unscripted and fortunate for the Flyers.
And again,
and very unfortunate for Gayville.
It shows just how athletic these guys are, and Sorensen, the ability to control that ball and to find an open man, even if it was by accident, and then Walter to convert it, and all the things. 41-32 now, 4:57 to play, third period. I'm certainly not comfortable if I'm Freeman right now, but I am feeling a little bit better than I was a couple of minutes ago.
It does feel like the momentum has switched to be in Freeman's favor, and they're kind of controlling the game here a little bit better. Here comes high pick and roll. This is the first look that they ran right out of the gate. That was the shot that went up and went in here at the beginning of the third quarter.
You wonder if Gayville-Volin's legs are starting to feel a little heavy. Sorensen, senior leader there, just cleans up the glass. Makes it an 11-point game now.
There's that trap, 1-2-2 trap.
Well, you want momentum, there it is. All of a sudden, it's a 13-point game.
Gayville's going to have to stay calm here and work to get a bucket in a position that they're comfortable in. Try and stop the bleeding here. Surprised that Freeman didn't want to get out and run there a little bit, but we're going to run some deliberate offense here. Gayville's been fantastic in their half-court defense in these scenarios. It's been the transition buckets that have really favored the Freeman Flyers. Good
nice,
high low.
Yeah, nice feed. That's sophomore Miller to sophomore Walter there. 47-32 now, 3:10 to play. Freeman fans like it, as they should. This game turned in a hurry.
Yeah, it almost feels like a collective sigh of relief
Yeah.
from the other side of the gym, from the fans. Like, oh, okay, we're actually going to be okay here. We've settled in, got the stops we needed. I'm not sure if it was intentional, but I'm not sure that Friesen wanted to rely on that 1-2-2 to change that tone, and maybe had some other ideas about what he wanted to work on and focus on defensively. But that did really change the tone here as soon as they dropped into that. And that's been consistent for them throughout the year, that they just really stymie teams. And when you look at the length and the size on Freeman's five that are on the floor, you can see why it's a successful defense for them.
Parkson's found a little bit of separations over Trip Delmont Armour. It's a 34-28 lead for the Trojans now, late in the third period. Centerville and Irene Wakanda remain in a tight game. The number 4 Tornadoes hold a 41-37 lead over the number 5 Irene Wakanda Eagles. That looks like it's at half. And Viborg Hurley remains in total control over the Pirates.
All right, still in this 1-2-2.
Freeman, 3 starters, 2 reserves in right now.
Now they go and match up into man, dropping out of that 1-2-2.
Very good defense there on the baseline. Out did a nice job of bottling up the Gayville-Volin kid, and
And sometimes you don't get a trap or get a steal or a turnover out of that kind of defense. But if you look up at the shot clock, all of a sudden we're setting offense with 8 seconds left here. And that, again, that gets you out of your rhythm, breaks the rhythm of the opponent.
Raiders having a hard time finding points right now.
They'll take that look all day long. Just isn't falling for them right now.
Yeah, nice feed from senior to senior there. I don't have any notes, but we could be looking on a 14-0 run, 16-0 run.
I didn't write it down either. I'm not sure. It is starting to snowball here and pile up. These points are coming in bunches now at this point. And again, it's been a transition for the Flyers. Defense turning into offense. That's really changed it around here. Those transition baskets, the quick stops, runouts, that has changed the tone of this game.
Yep, absolutely. Another miss for Gayville-Volin. Let's see what Walter does with it here.
Good interior pass. Nice finish.
That's Oliver Waldner, his first points of the night. Makes it a 51-32 point game.
Another second chance bucket there. That's going to be 4 on Peters.
Blocking foul on Peters, his fourth. This is Barron at the line for Gayville-Volin.
And got a bucket.
They got a bucket.
Broke the drought.
Barron, one of 6 seniors on this team. So senior heavy Gayville-Volin squad. Gayville-Volin girls had a nice season.
Low-scoring affair in their game against Centerville last week, Thursday. Final score was 40s to 30s.
Ooh, yeah.
Ended up being around 10 points.
Looks like a moisture issue.
Got a glistening basketball. Manager's time to shine.
Take advantage of the spotlight. Clock winding down on this third period. Freeman in control.
Deflection there, creating the turnover. Gayville had a little bit of a zone there, a little change in their defense.
Yeah, you can see what Gayville-Volin was trying to do there, just force that inside, and it just wasn't quite there.
Tough angle, really extended pass there. Had about a shoebox size gap to fit that ball in.
Yeah.
And just wasn't quite able to corral it there. Here's this 1-3-1 zone that we mentioned last time that caused that turnover and deflection. Typically, teams are going to line in a box set. Looks like Freeman's in it here. Look to play through the corners to flatten the defense out, and that is exactly what the 1-3-1 zone defense wants to do.
Second possession in a row. It's worked.
Field a little force there, but again, it's a 2-for-1 scenario. If you look up at the clock, guaranteed a second possession in the quarter, so we teach it to our players too. Get that quick shot so you have an opportunity to maximize possessions.
Little sense of urgency now for Gayville-Volin. You can feel it. Now they're going to hang back now and try to work for a shot. Game and shot identical.
Again, a look that they want.
Yeah.
Gayville's going to be happy with that. It's just not falling right now for him.
Webben just didn't get it to fall. 5 seconds to play now.
Strong third quarter there for Freeman.
Very strong. You could feel the gym shift. 51-33, 8 minutes to play. Flyers in control of this. I think it's largely been the season that the Freeman boys were hoping for. I know it took them a little while to establish who they were, what that rotation looked like. But again, you don't not lose since January 3 by accident.
No. I know that their strength of schedule maybe hasn't been as the same level as some of the other teams that possibly had it, but they played some good matchups in there. And it's hard to win that many games in a row without having a mental collapse or a breakdown in one game. And so it is a testament to attention to detail and team quality to be able to go on that type of a run.
Flyers, of course, coming off that state tournament appearance last year. They got a win up in Aberdeen and ended up coming back 1-2. But largely it was a good opportunity to play on the state's biggest stage, because Class B state tournament, arguably the biggest sporting event in South Dakota for high school sports.
It is. It's a fantastic weekend. It's a lot of fun for all the fans, parents, players, town involved of those 8 communities that get to experience that. And it's everyone's dream to be able to do it. They have the opportunity to do it 2 years in a row if they take care of business. Just great eye controlled, eye discipline there from the pass. I know everyone looks at the finish, but that was all Kerrigan with the pass and the find. Controlling the defense with his eyes. Fantastic work.
Yeah, Kerrigan really does a good job of seeing the court. Athletic kid.
His vision, it's not something you can teach. We see it in football. We see it in basketball. He's got awareness and a sense for the court, field, floor, whatever you're going to be doing. It's not something that you can teach somebody to do. It's a gift. It's a talent, and that's something he has.
It also translates really well to shortstop position.
That is correct. And that split-second decision-making there in baseball shows in the other sports as well.
Kerrigan, a couple of these other boys, big key members of the local baseball team here in town. They've had a lot of success over the years. Spring ball's getting going with practices now, even as these guys are still playing basketball. So when you're an athletic group of kids, it's one sport to the next. 20-point lead now for the Flyers, 53-33. Under 7 minutes to play in the game. It's a good stroke by Kerrigan there.
Still in the 1-2-2 half-court trap here. And they're going to drop off of it now that they broke it. Back to man-to-man. Late switch. Gayville missed it. Can't be afraid to shoot the ball now if you're Gayville. You've got to score. And another look that they're going to be happy with just didn't fall.
And a great board by Sorensen there to control the possession.
Good hustle. Good heads-up play.
Yeah, great awareness by Kerrigan.
Gayville's been sticking to the zone again. They dropped into a 2-3 here these last few possessions, forcing Freeman to identify what the defense is and get into the correct offense. Looks like they're staying in that 2-3 zone look right here, potentially.
as much as Freeman has done a really good job of scoring the ball, thank you for proving my point there, Mr. Walter, Freeman's defense has been equally stifling.
Yeah, well, it's what I talked about at halftime, is that's really where the change needed to happen. And I'm guessing that was the tone and the message in the locker room, as Kerrigan just knocks popcorn out of a kid's hand on the sideline. But the defense is what changed that game around, and now everyone's in rhythm.
Yeah.
And Kerrigan's just playing loose and free, and you're seeing the results.
I don't know how many points Gayville-Volin has scored this half, but it's not very many.
Good defense can be your best offense when you can create transition buckets, and if you look up at the scoreboard, it's now 31 points. So that'll be running clock.
Yeah, we went from 3-point lead to a running clock, 0 to 60. Yeah, when we see this Freeman team getting into that kind of rhythm, you think they can beat anybody.
Well, defense and hustle translates in game to game, and I really think that is what changed the tone of this game was the defensive effort in the second half, and so
it looks like we are on a collision course for a date with Parkston on Friday night. Trojans open up a 51-33 lead over TDA, so Flyers are going to have to go into a.
We've got a technical here on the book for having an incorrect number or a missing number filled in for Freeman. Somebody checked into the game that wasn't correctly identified in the book, and so by rule, that is a technical foul. And the only player out there that hasn't been in the game yet is Hunter Nankiville, so I'm guessing there was a mistake on.
But that's not on the player.
No, it isn't. And the only thing that's going to not give Friesen too many concerns about this is that it's a 30-point lead right now.
Yeah.
Because that happening in a close game, those extra points at the free throw line can really change the outcome or change the tone of a game.
I
think
the technical on the book. I don't think this is the first time that's happened this season to these Freeman boys.
Luke did not want to come out of the game.
Nope.
That's the quality of player he is. He wants to be out there. He wants to play to the end, and you got to love that as a coach.
All reserves in for the Flyers now. Saving some legs for Friday. I don't know how important that's going to be. There's going to be a lot of adrenaline in that gym in Parkston.
Yeah, it's going to be very similar feel to a week ago Thursday.
Yep.
And it's a rematch of last year as well. Same gym, same time, same opponents.
And if Freeman can find a way to shoot the ball like they did last year against the Trojans in that region final, that's going to could be a tough night for Parkston. Remains one of the greatest three-point shooting exhibitions I've ever seen.
Yes, especially first half.
Yeah.
This was electric.
Hunter trying to muscle his way in there.
First field goal in seemingly a long time for Gayville-Volin to fall there.
Little strong for Waltner on the perimeter there.
Another smooth-looking shot there. Pressure off here a little bit, just able to play a little bit loose and free. Couple jump shots fall here. And another bucket, 3 in a row.
Yeah, you know, for a team like Freeman and their fans, these quote-unquote garbage minutes, you know, they may seem a little bit like let's just get this over with, but for these players who are out there, they want to make the most of this time.
Absolutely. They work hard in practice. They're out there every day, just like the ones that are out in there in the game for the first 3.5 quarters. So they want their chance. They deserve their chance to be out there and get that recognition as well.
Freeman's third and final 5 comes into the game. Clock approaching 1:20 to play.
Hunter with the turnover. Hunter drew the charge.
Yeah. Coach Friesen loves those charge fouls. Gayville-Volin going to finish the season 9-12. Hats off to them. Hats off to that group of seniors. They don't want to see this end. Played hard, played the game the right way.
There is a mismatch. See if they can find it. Somehow. Hasn't happened yet.
Freeman's, I think, just going to be content to dribble this out, and that's going to be it. Flyers are going to hang on for a 66-42 win. Just a really dominant second half. Controlled the tempo. Got some points in transition. Really opened things up in terms of pace and energy in the gym.
Yeah. That defense in the third quarter really changed the tone, and well, that's the end of our live streaming experiment this year.
Yeah, boy, was it fun.
It was good. I enjoyed hopping on the mic here a few times with you, and
yeah,
we'll try and continue to improve things. Try and get a scoreboard maybe up in the corner and do some things to help the viewers continue to have a better experience. But
yeah,
it's been great talking shop with you and
100%
reflecting. And you know me, I'm always up for a good conversation when it involves sports and basketball.
Yeah, Evan and I have been talking. You know, we really want to work on getting this, to another level next year, and that's going to be the plan. Freeman Public supportive of that, and yeah, it's been great. So thanks for joining me, and thanks for Evan for the work on the camera. Thanks to Seth Loofborough, the tech coordinator here. Freeman will be traveling to Parkston for the region final on Friday. We don't have a time confirmed. We can only assume it's going to be 7 o'clock. Parkston Armory, trip to the Sodak 16 on the line. Should Freeman get through to the Sodak 16, you can only assume they're going to get a high seed. And the path to state is, well, I'm not counting any chickens before they hatch, but Freeman takes care of business. Should be a fun next couple weeks.
Very well could be.
All right, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining us. Have a great rest of the winter. Good spring and summer. We'll see you again sometime.